Hey everybody, Agnes here, and here for another video. This one's going to be about the elephant in the room, the problem of getting the Guardian node tiles on the island. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Agnes here, and like I said in the little intro, we're going to do a video about the problem of getting the guard nodes on the island, which there's been a couple things that were said about the guard nodes and such, which I went through and I disproved a lot of what was said. So I'm going to share what I have found to have worked so far. So we'll get right into that. Before we do any of that, we're going to go ahead and give a shout out to the sponsor, who is AppCoins. We're using my code APTA2. You can get some money back on your first 5 purchases using my code. So it's a great way to save some money. Personally, what I do now that they changed it like that, I usually buy AppCoins by the pack of 100 5 times. You know, it's $500, whatever, but gives you the most bang for the buck. You get right around $23-24 back per doing that. So it still does save you quite a bit of money doing that. So again, that's APTA2. Full description on how to do so will be down in the description down below. As well as in the description is a link to the Discord, all the happy goodness. You hear it all the time. But shout out first off to our allies and enemies on this island. I'll give a quick update on that. I just got home from work. We're not doing too great, but you know, we're not out of the fight yet. So we'll see how that goes. And apparently baklava is the huge conversation today. So gotta love some baklava. All right, so we'll get into, I guess I'll do another just like quick update as far as that. So we got the kills rating right there, the honor right here, alliance kills, and alliance influence. Again, we're not doing too great right now, but a lot of it is because, you know, it's the start of our work week. But anyway, let's get into what you guys actually all came here for. Now, I did have all of the screenshots to be able to prove every single thing. Or not screenshots, but I had them all in my battle reports ready to go to be able to make this video yesterday, actually. And then we got into fighting. And I was fighting until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So, as you can imagine, they are quite buried by now. So I don't have all of them to be able to prove what I am saying, but you'll be able to recreate the test yourself. I will be posting some of them in the Discord at a later date when it's not so busy, probably this weekend, where I can redo that testing to be able to show it. But anyway, so there's a giant problem with the Guardian nodes. At first it was speculated that it just means that, you know, you're supposed to hit each of the nodes with your given troop type, like carriers with carriers, shooters with shooters, guards for guards. That was the first thing I tested. Completely false. I was able to take carriers, high nodes, no problem, using just my shooters. And the same thing with shooters, obviously, which is what I main as. Now, I don't have the best of Guardian mains or setups, but my overall stats are not shabby. Unless it's like a super whale, my guard stats do relate pretty well with most of the players of the game, of the higher whale status players. Now, I did get, I am actually waiting on getting screenshots of testing from another player that is actually like a really super whale guard main. So gonna have to stand by for that. At the time of making this video, I still hadn't received that. So the next thing that was suggested was that it relied heavily, because people were saying, okay, well, that's not the case, still can't get guard level 11, 12s, whatever they were trying to get. So the next thing that came out was a suggestion saying that, oh, you have to use guardians and they have to have healing involved. So that was the next thing I tested. And I found that, yes, while it was easier to get higher nodes with a guard only lineup, the healing actually didn't have a factor. I had actually opposite testing in testing to where I was actually hitting pretty low. So honestly, what I was just running is the BC, MC, and White Crystal. And that seemed to do okay, but when I switched it over with doing Hairy Panther and White Crystal instead of the MC, and I moved the MC up to the front line, that actually seemed to do the best overall, which would still indicate that it does want a higher damage output overall to be able to get that certain node. So that kind of becomes a problem, especially in the early stages of Island. Because in the early stages of Islands, Guardian mains are at a disadvantage. Now, with the new season guards, after that period, they kind of have an advantage because they are very powerful and great for defending. I've actually been finding myself doing a lot of defending just with my Guardian lineup instead of my Pro, which was kind of curious. So it does still leave some room for strategy when you are doing the Guardians and going down that route as far as on the island. I still, me personally, think that it should be a pretty straight across the board fair advantage for all troop types to be able to get all the different nodes. I do kind of like the idea of them making it class specific, you know, shooters with shooters, carriers for carriers, guardians for guardians. I do like that idea, but it's just not true right now. I'm using the same shooter main lineup to be able to get carrier nodes, and I do rock carriers, but they're way down here, so I don't want carrier nodes. So there's that. I think it's a problem that really needs to be fixed before next island. Let me know what you all think. Maybe you all have different experiences. Maybe you found something better than I did that did work. I didn't really find a very concrete solution to be able to fix the issue of being able to get guardian nodes, but at least I can help you with a way that's a little bit easier. All right, that's it for me. Egg out. We'll see you in the next one.